So now let's take the first step to handle this error properly. Whenever you see unhandled promise rejection, that means you're using a promise, which means you're dealing with asynchronous code. That promise is rejected, but you have not handled the rejection properly. So let's go to our genres module. This is the handler for getting the list of genres. So here we have a promise that is returned here. We're awaiting that, but nowhere in this code, we have a try-catch block to handle rejected promises. This implementation is the same as getting a promise, calling then, but not calling catch to handle the rejections. So if you're using the promise syntax with then, you should always call catch to handle exceptions. If you're using async and await, you should always have try-catch blocks. So here we need to put this code in a try block like this, and then add the catch block where we get the exception. Now here we need to send a proper response to the client. So response.status, we use the error code 500, which means internal server error. So something failed on the server, we don't know what. And then send a message like something failed. Now technically here, we should also log the exception, but we're going to look at that later. So let's improve this application step by step. Now let's see how this new implementation works. So back in the terminal, I'm going to start MongoDB first, because if we don't start it and then run the application, look, we cannot connect to MongoDB. So initially I want to be connected to MongoDB, and then I want to drop that connection somewhere in the middle. So let's stop this application. Now, back to the other terminal window for MongoDB. Let's run MongoD or MongoDaemon one more time. Okay, MongoDB is listening. Now, let's run our Vidly application. Now back to MongoDB terminal. I'm going to stop this process. And then here in Postman, I'm going to send a request to the genres endpoint. This is going to take 30 seconds. So I'm going to pause the recording and come back. All right, this is what we get. So 500 internal server error, and this is our message. Now, if you look at the terminal window for our application, you no longer see that unhandled promise rejection, which will result in the termination of this process in the future version of Node.